insisting, texting me, telling me what I'm missing.
Sunni Stephens.
Candy coated, red sticky sweet, want a piece of mine.
Candy apple red.
Got to warn you, but yeah, I'm good. Once you try it, you'll admit we shook. Boys, they say it's really sweet, tastes like I'm on a treat. That's how they describe my candy apple red. One taste and you'll be hooked. One night is all it took for you to fall in love with my sweet, sweet candy. Candy apple, my candy apple red. Cinnamon sweets, my candy apple red. My candy apple red, my candy apple red. Oh, that tastes my candy apple red.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carlos Phoenix with the iNdie Lounge, and I do have a special show for you today. I have a special guest. Her name is Sunni Stephens, and she's coming in from Miami, although she is local right now in Atlanta. And although we couldn't get together, she did make some special time for me today. And so let me introduce. So, Miss Stephens, how are you?
Yes. I'm wonderful. How are you?
So you just got out of a studio session.
I did.
Very good. What's that about? What was the session about?
So I am trying to do a project with a female girl band called the GGs. They're three sisters, phenomenal musicians, and we were just having a creative session. Hopefully this summer we'll be doing some gigs here around in Atlanta, so just trying to solidify a lot of that.
Very good.
Very
And
excited.
and so now you are from Missouri.
I am
Born and raised, I presume.
born half raised in Kansas City, Missouri. Yep.
Okay. And then eventually you did move to Atlanta.
I did. I really call Atlanta my home or my second home because that's where I kind of grew into the person that I am now. You know, it's not necessarily where you were born or where you're from, but it's who you become and where you cement your roots at. And I feel like Atlanta is just like the other side of me. So,
Very good.
yep,
So so you're an independent artist,
I am.
as I have listed here. Let me see right there. I got dance, pop dance artist. Let's go back in time and let's start off with when you were a child. How were you as a child?
Busy. Always performing.
Okay.
In fact, as the story goes, because my mom was a performer as well. She was a singer. She was in a girls group, the whole 70s girls group. But she was gigging. And I was in her belly.
Wow.
And as the story goes, she went into labor while she was singing. And I guess I was trying to sing and perform and outshine her, but she kind of finished her gig and then went to the hospital. So
Wow.
I guess I got my strength from my stage performance even before I was introduced to the world.
Well, now that's a funny story, actually. That's
Yeah,
it's impressive when you're
exactly. I'm
performing
like,
before you're
really?
born. So, all right. So and what kind of music was that? What was she doing?
My mom was like the 70s soul girls group.
Nice.
Think like Emotions, Patti LaBelle. They call her, she has the nickname of Tina Turner because she had unbelievable legs. Well, she still does. And she was very strong in her performance. So, as the saying goes, all of the older musicians, when they would talk about my mom, they would call her Tina.
Nice. Okay. Now, so of course you were born,
I was born.
and at some point in time you decided to start kind of dancing and singing.
Well, yeah, I was dancing all of my life. I was any outlet I could get to be in the limelight. I took it. So, beyond the whole traditional school plays and things of that nature, I started taking up instruments and I started playing the piano. I would think I was in third grade when I did the whole school thing. I was in a drill team, a really big drum corps, and I was leading that. I was like the youngest kid ever to ever lead a group, and I just marching, performing. So I always performed, always performed. I'm also a nerd too, so I went to like this prep school, and at some point I did. I was like, I don't want to perform anymore. It's too much. It had gotten too hard. It became a challenge to me. So I became mute because I'm so dramatic, as all artists are. I became mute for like a year. I was like, I'm
Really?
never singing again. I did. That was my goth phase. I was like, no music. I was into poetry. I wore all black, because I was just being
I did a
pushed
little of
too
that.
hard. Right?
So now, did you wear a lot of? Did you do the whole lace thing?
I did. It's crazy. The whole candles and oh my God.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And
The whole
did you wear any
basement thing.
fangs?
Huh?
Did you have any of the fangs?
I didn't go that far.
Okay. All right. So that's good. You had some limitations. That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, what did your parents feel about that?
That's who I was rebelling against.
Wow.
Because they saw the gift in me and how I love to do it. And, in my childhood, I would master an instrument and then I would get bored with it. Or it would get challenging and I would stop and move on to something else. So I kind of had like this ADD thing going with musicianship. And my mom pushed me because she's like, if you want to do it, then do it. And she was pushing me way too hard. And so I was like, I don't want to do it anymore. And it was kind of my rebelling against her, but it was in my soul. So it came out in other ways, in the form of poetry, in the form of short narratives, haikus, things of that nature.
Okay.
And I eventually got back into it.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it was so funny because my school bus driver was a former band musician of my mom's, and I didn't know who he was. And so
that's funny.
and he heard me singing under my breath, and he was like, are you Niecy's child? I was like, yes, sir. And, he started telling me stories about her, and he kind of encouraged me to get back into singing again. So I did, and I never stopped.
That's cool. That's very cool. Now, so there has to been a turning point.
Yes.
Now, before we get into that, who your influences outside of mom, in terms of music? Who were you listening to? What was your those that inspired you?
Yeah. So I would say my all around like worship goddess that I love
Had
is
to be
Janet
a woman.
Jackson.
Okay, Janet, that's cool.
Janet, like, oh my God, I thought I was her all of my life, even now. But it's so funny because I've always had a global sense of musicianship. So I was into Paula Cole. I was into John Mayer. I loved old Hollywood classics. So like I'm obsessed with Audrey Hepburn. So literally in my playlist, you would find Fred Astaire and then Audrey Hepburn and then a Paula Cole song and then a rap song and then a Janet song, so I don't have like 3 or 4 go-to artists because I saw myself in each one of these artists and I replicated them until I made all of them me.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, that's what I listen to. Everybody. Jewel, I was into Jewel at one point, and then I get obsessed with like 1 or 2 of their songs, right? And I play it over and over and over again, and then I go to the next artist. Gosh, I was in a Portishead. Tech Nine, he's a really alternative rapper out of Kansas City. I loved him. So it was really all over the place.
Huh. All right. So what was the turning point?
Turning point for me, when I said I'm really going to do this, like professionally, was probably when I did a stint in LA. It was me rebelling against the world again. I was like, no, I don't want to go to college. I just want to go live on the beach and play a guitar. And my mom said, you're crazy, but go try it if you want. So I went to LA and kind of did sort of that. But I hooked up with this guy named Bobby. And Bobby, for a girls group, and he did not select me to be in a girls group because he said I had something special and I was more of a solo artist. So we did a project together, and being in that studio, going through that process made me realize that this is where I belong, this is where I want to be. And then when I got my first paycheck from it, I was like, oh, and I can make money from it too. Awesome.
Let me take time to welcome you to the magical world of la 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 la. I have big surprises for you. Baby, I'm action, beauty, and drama. Just sit back, enjoy my show. Be a good boy and pay attention. We gon' strip down when I say go. Flames are hot here in mama's kitchen. Some of the freaky things we gon' do, we might confess about them on Sunday. I got some secret chambers for you. Scholars are going to speak of them one day. Wait till you sneak a peek in my show. Wait till you sneak a peek in my show. Wait till you sneak a peek in my show. Wait till you sneak a peek in my show. Welcome to welcome to many have tried and failed to get in. This ain't a club, it's highly exclusive. Just cause you have a pass, you don't win. I will revoke it if you abuse it. You just sit back, enjoy my show. This gon' use all of your 5 senses. This will conflict and stir your soul. Ease your mind while your heart rate senses.
Awesome. So that was probably the turning point for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
You went from your turning point, and you've now are starting to record. Now, who are you recording for, and what was that about?
Back then or now?
Back then.
Back then, it was me. It was me trying to find my voice, because so previously I said that I had all of these different influences in me, right? And a few years back, maybe as recent as 5 years ago, the music industry was still very segmented. So you were either this type of artist or that type of artist. Now the lines are kind of getting blurry, right?
Right.
So when I was trying to find my voice, I was still hopping from genre to genre to genre, and nobody was really flocking to that. So they tried to pigeonhole me. Do this, or you should do that, or you should be an alternative rock artist, or you should be just a neo-soul artist. It was so extreme. So I started just writing and doing music for me, and we did this whole collaborative me and Bobby album, 12-song album of just all of these different styles. And we shopped it to an independent record company out there, and they actually picked it up, but they wanted to completely change it. So
Yeah, don't you hate how that works?
I know, right?
The music industry is always trying to just stop things or change things.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, there was a music video that you had mentioned to me earlier.
Yes.
What is the name of that video?
The name is called HSN, which stands for the Home Shopping Network. No, just kidding.
Yeah, I thought that.
Everybody, it stands for Hot Summer Nights.
Okay, cool.
Hashtag HSN. Yeah. Awesome project. I think this is one of the few songs, one of the first of many that really define where I am right now.
Okay. All right, very good.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a moment. I'm going to introduce the video. So, guys, take a look, and we'll be right back.
HSN.
Tonight I'm staying at home, but you insisting. Texting me, telling me what I'm missing. Got me wonder, getting a little drama. Tonight I won't be staying home with my
Cool deal. And so that was HSN, the music video.
That was
Now tell us a little bit about HSN.
the song. The song?
Yes.
The, the song is in
No,
the video.
the home shopping.
Because it has an excellent backstory to it. It really does. So, a lady, young, phenomenal DJ / producer by the name of Alexandra Damiani.
Ooh.
She is from Genoa, home of Christopher Columbus in Italy. We became Facebook friends about a year ago, and we started chatting. And I was like, hey, you are a cool DJ, love your music. Do you do remixes? And so she was like, yeah, I do remixes. I said, well, can I shoot you a couple of songs? I really need some really cool dance remixes to them. So at the same time, her manager was sending me tracks to write to. And so a couple of days had passed, and she goes, well, I think you already have some of my tracks. And I'm like, I know I don't. And she's like, yeah, you do. So come to find out, the tracks that I liked from the manager were tracks that she produced. So I was like, oh my God, you are amazing. You look like freaking a Barbie doll, but you're like this really, really amazing producer. And you're in Italy. Like, that is a great story. So we did the Skype thing, and I recorded the vocals, and I wrote, and I wrote it here.
Okay.
The Skype thing, exactly. I wrote it here. I sent the session over there to them, and they mixed it and everything. Mm-hmm. And so that summer, I had an opportunity to go over to Italy and do some shows. Get over there, meet her. Just go to Italy,
Yeah, I'm an independent artist. I'll just go to Italy.
Viva Italia. So yes, I went over there. I was doing some shows. I was in Le Marche Regione, and we met up, and we shot this video in Torino for HSN.
Very nice.
Awesome, amazing experience. So in the video, you saw like dancers that you would think came from all over the world, but they all lived in Italy. So Italy, what I found out was Italy is just as diverse as America. But the thing that blew my mind was that, like, the girl that had on the hat, she's Asian, but only spoke Italian. I was like, really? Like, give me a second to process this,
That's funny.
It was crazy. Like, there was a guy from Guyana, I believe, that was in the video. He looks like Will.i.am, but all of these people only speak Italian. They are Italians. I was like, wow.
Now, and what's the young lady's name again?
Alexandra
the one that was singing with you. Yeah, go ahead.
Alexandra Damiani. And Taima.
Sounds like a car.
Taima, yeah. Exactly, right? Super, super cool. Taima is from Milan, and Alexandra is from Damiani. And we plan to do a couple of more songs together.
Cool.
This is a singles-driven market now. So, but yeah, I think it's super special.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the production was pretty cool. I liked I saw that you guys were kind of feeding off of each other, dancing next to each other, and so on. So that was kind of neat.
Exactly.
Now, reading up on you, you were there's a little bit of information relating to doing production for off-Broadway shows and stuff like that. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So going back to the part where I said I was rebelling against music and went mute, but it had to come out some other way. So I realized that I could write.
Rebellion. Let's go off-Broadway. Why not?
Yeah, So I started writing. I've always written music, plays, things of that nature. And I met some incredible people along the way. So I met this guy named Steve Broadnax. Steve Broadnax is a professor now of fine arts at really prestigious university. It slips my name. Sorry, Steve. So sorry. But I know, right? Horrible.
That's an epic fail.
Penn State. Got it. Penn State. Yes.
All right. I figured.
So I collabed with him and wrote some music to a couple of his plays that went on to win tons of awards.
Cool.
And I also started placing music on sitcoms and television shows and things of that nature. Just kind of fell into it. Like, I didn't know these avenues existed to make money if you were not signed. So
Right.
as my music career evolved, I started venturing out into other areas and just kind of fell into it and was like, wow, there's so many other ways to make money than the traditional route if you have talent.
Now that's really interesting. A lot of the folks that I've interviewed, there's a few. I'm going to mention one. So if you're watching Mr. Robotic, I'm going to mention you. Mr. Robotic is an artist that I interviewed some time back, and I'm probably going to get him back on the show again. And one of the things that always just amazed me about him is he has his music, and he's not signed, in TV shows, on some feature films, and he's not signed. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
so he's figured out ways of, and then of course performances, but
exactly.
it's impressive to when I've interviewed a bunch of people, and let's get next to each other. I'm going to have you side by side with me. Um, Artists always have a particular picture in mind of people that I've met are like, well, you know, I'm going to be the next best this or the next best that rapper or whatever, and they have this particular vision in mind, which is fine, because it's great to have a direction.
Hmm.
But there's other artists who they think they want to go in a certain direction, but they kind of have this little lost feeling inside,
Yeah.
and sometimes becomes so overwhelming that they quit and they give up, and it's sad, because like you're saying, there's other avenues you can
Yeah.
use that talent, you know, to do other things. Like I didn't grow up doing this, you know.
Right.
I worked in film, I worked in television, I worked in painting and illustration. So that's my background. But now I'm doing this.
Right.
If you're willing to be creative and if you're willing to do things, a little to the left, a little to the right, you can still do what you're passionate about and become part of the industry in some way, shape, or form.
And you know what? I think you hit it on the head right there, because you have to determine very early on if you want to be an artist or if you want to be a celebrity. For me,
Exactly.
I just need to be in show business. So whatever that means, if that means being in a studio recording, on a stage singing, on a sidewalk turning backflips, I want to be an artist. You know, I don't too much care about the celebrity, only to the fact of it gives me a bigger voice, you
Right.
know. I thought I was going to be a doctor. Like I said, I was a nerd. But for me, if I'm not out on that stage, if a certain amount of time passes, it physically affects me.
Hmm.
Like, I get sad, I get depressed, I get sick.
I think I
I
know that
have
feeling.
to perform. Right, right.
Now, I personally want to be famous.
Yeah. I mean, it
I'm
comes with the
kidding.
job. It comes with the job. It's nice, but with that comes responsibility, and it goes hand in hand. If you have that platform and if you have the ear of so many people, say something. Like, don't just speak. Say something. Stand for something. If you have that circle of influences, to whom much is given, much is required. You know? So,
Ooh, that got deep.
yeah,
We got very
just for a
philosophical.
second.
Just for a
Back to the
second.
surface.
Okay. So, all right. So you've done this, the off-Broadway stuff.
Mhm.
Now you're doing this music. What else has been going on lately?
Yeah, so in addition to that, so I told you also I love performing. So this is me coming into my own, going, hey, I have no barriers. So instead of waiting for someone to call me and say, I have a gig for you, I decided I'm going to make my own gig. So I'm working on a cabaret show called Clubesque, Three Dimensions of a Woman. And I wanted to have it in Atlanta to be its home base, but also tour worldwide.
Candy coated red sticky sweet, want a piece of mine.
candy apple red.
I don't want you, but yeah, I'm good until you try it. You'll admit, shook. Boys, they say it's really sweet. sweet, sweet, like I'm on a treat. That's how they describe my candy apple red. One taste and you'll be hooked. One night is all it took for you to fall in love with my sweet, sweet candy. Candy apple, my candy apple red. Cinnamon sweets, my candy apple red. My candy apple red, my candy apple red. Oh, taste my candy.
And this is going to be a fusion of all the people that are inside of my head.
So now, let me translate that into English. When you say all the people that are inside of your head, is this like John Leguizamo, where he's acting out as other people, or what do you mean by that?
So, okay, all the women can relate to me. Women, if you're listening, you're going to be nodding your head when I say this. And maybe the men too, that have been around women for a long time. In the course of a day, a woman can wake up happy. By mid-morning, she's frustrated. By the afternoon, she's angry. By the time she gets home, she's happy again. By the time she goes to bed, she may be feeling a little romantic. And then 5 seconds later, she's dead tired. So it's so many emotions that we go through in one single day. I could feel sexy, ugly, fat, skinny, gorgeous, all at the same time, or within the course of a few hours. Sporty, and so many times we are portrayed as the one thing, right? I love Janet, but when I say Janet Jackson, you say what? Sex symbol, sexy, da-da-da-da. She's known for one thing, right? And what I want to do is I want to show that women can be all of these things at once, and it's okay. I don't have to be the angry artist. I don't have to be the sexy artist. I don't have to be the soul artist. I can be all of these people up in one, because that's really who a real woman is today. So that's what I mean.
Okay.
And that's what you guys love about us.
Yes.
You love it. You know you do.
So
You call it spicy.
okay,
Okay.
I'll take it. So what is next?
What's next for me?
I mean, I know you're doing the
again,
show, and let me know if that's going well. But what's now after that?
After that, I want to go back to Europe. I love Europe. I want to go back to Italy. I want to tour over there again. I want to finish the project with Alexandra and Taima. I also want to finish the project with the GGs. And then hopefully by the fall, put out an EP. And by that winter, be touring. And the next few years, have the show working in Atlanta, as far as that being the home base, using that as an outlet to do tons of things. Still doing placements, growing my brand in that respect. Also working on a sitcom too. So.
Wow, so you're very busy.
Yeah.
Well, that's very cool. So now we're going to start finishing this off. But how can people follow you?
Yep. So, Sunni is my first name, Sunny. My last name is Stephens, Stephens. So if you go on Facebook and type on Sunni Stephens, I'll come up. If you go on Twitter, I'm at Sunni Stephens. If you go on Instagram, I'm Sunni Stephens. My webpage, I have, it's sunnistephens.com. And then if you Google Sunni Stephens, you're going to find me.
Right.
And YouTube, Sunni Stephens. So everything is Sunni Stephens.
Very good, Miss Stephens. Or Sunny. Well, I do appreciate you making some time. I know you're traveling in between, and you're in the car right now, and the fact that you're willing to do that for me, I do appreciate that very much. Guys, please follow Miss Stephens. She's fantastic. We're going to put some more music and stuff, also links below. And if you have any other questions, feel free to send me an email, and I'll be sure to forward them to Miss Stephens. So thank you again. Have a safe trip. Go back to Miami, and I hope to look forward to this cabaret show.
Absolutely. I will send you tickets. You have to come out premiere night.
Thank you so much. And then we'll try and present some clips and stuff here on the show. So and that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Again, a lot of changes coming up with the Indie Lounge, and I guess I'll leave it at that. But have a good night. Take care.
Have a good night. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Walk away. No, no. Never. Walk away. Oh, Sitting here, thinking about us. All the times we've laughed, all the times we fussed. Think about the breakups, better yet the makeups. Gotta chuckle to myself, rather be with no one else. Know how to keep a smile on my face, in my favorite place, baby. You got me right where you want me, you got me right where you want me. Know how to keep a smile on my face, in my favorite place, baby. You got me right where you want me, boy, you know I'll never leave you. We can argue, fuss and fight, I just can't walk away. I just can't walk away. And I can't deny you. My life, I just can't walk away. I just can't walk away. I just can't walk away. I'm wondering why I love your touch. You drive me so crazy. Think you know so much. You always gotta be right and get the last word in. Gotta chuckle to myself, rather be with no one else. Know how to keep a smile on my face, in my favorite place, baby. You got me right where you want me. You got me right where you want me. Know how to keep a smile on my face, in my favorite place, baby. You got me right where you want me. You got me right where you want me. We can argue, fuss and fight. I just can't walk away. I just can't walk away. I just can't walk away.
Hold up.
Can't deny you.
Yeah.
I just can't walk away.
It's Heinrich. Fat boy.
I just can't walk
Liberal.
away.
Bags packed, the cab's on the way. No scratch that, just screaming she'll stay. She's sick and tired of the games I play. Plus any given day, she plan on walking away. She told her, give me a minute, I plan on sparking this J. She usually don't bitch, but got a barking this way. I can't admit a nigga far from a saint, but you drive a fucking Benz, got the keys to the safe. I even changed my Playboy way. Took it from a 10 to about a 2 these days. I'm a fool, she say, but she love me. I pay her way through school, but I won't be a hubby. I'm all she got, she all I need. Don't trip, spray for breeze when I smoke my weed. Makeup, sex, got the neighbors upset. She know I grind hard, so I wake up dressed.